Well, the two main presidential candidates are preparing for next week's debate. Doug Luzader joins me now from Washington. Doug, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So let's start here. President Biden has left D.C. to get ready. Take some time. Do we know where he'll practice and what point of attack he may focus on against former President Trump?
Well, he went to his beach house in Delaware last night, and he's going to, it sounds like, kind of be off the grid until this debate happens. He's going to go to Camp David to do some it sounds like, pretty extensive debate work. As for his angle of attack, I would imagine that's being closely guarded. But, based on the things that he has done recently, he may really kind of take the point on immigration, which is seen as an issue that is generally stronger for President Trump, former President Trump, than it is for President Biden. But Biden has taken some actions recently, and he may try to, kind of, pardon the expression, but flip the script by going after Trump on this. As far as Trump is concerned, he may do the same thing. He may go after immigration pretty hard, as well as foreign policy. And we may see foreign policy figure more prominently in this debate than we typically do.
Yeah, and here's the thing, they're each kind of dealing with their own issues going into this very much anticipated debate. So, of course, former President Trump is dealing with the Milwaukee controversy that he made some remarks ahead of this RNC. How is he trying to play damage control over appearing to slander the city they're getting ready to host this major convention in, and then it sounds like he's going to be staying here in Chicago during it?
Well, that's right. And, it's kind of interesting watching that play out yesterday. The former president meeting with lawmakers here in Washington did describe, I think the word might have been horrible, that he used to describe Milwaukee. Now, the folks that were in that meeting say he was talking about the crime situation. Nevertheless, that is the host city for the Republican National Convention. And then there was this question yesterday about where the former president is going to stay. Was he going to stay in Chicago? Was he going to stay in Milwaukee? And then the campaign very quickly said, no, he's going to be staying in Milwaukee. So that's kind of the latest that we've heard on that front. But clearly there was some kind of Milwaukee controversy here that the Trump administration, that the Trump campaign did not want to see.
Okay, and then just on a final note here, we were talking just a moment ago about TikTok. So let me ask you a question about that in terms of Biden and Trump both seemingly agreeing on not liking TikTok, but also being on TikTok. How much are they relying on this, and then kind of talking about a ban on it?
Yeah, they both talked about bans. At one time, they both supported them. Former President Trump has since backed away from that. But both campaigns are, in essence, on TikTok now, which does make things a little bit awkward, especially because President Biden supports banning this app, and here the Biden campaign is on there. The Trump campaign is as well. And the Trump campaign sent out a statement yesterday essentially bragging about their TikTok performance, saying that the Trump account has 6 million followers. That's an extraordinary number considering they've posted 2 videos on there. The Biden campaign has 380,000 followers.
Never a dull moment in the world of politics, especially right now. Thank you, Doug. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.